What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Wingin' It podcast. I got with me Andre. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I don't even have a good quip this time. I'm just let that one roll. We good.
All right,
I
and
got
Shadow Fox.
We don't step in the game.
All right, so we on our post Valentine's Day BS episode. All right, so first things first, we got a lot of stuff to go over with, and the first thing we want to talk about is Ed Boon, our good
Oh,
buddy, our pal,
yeah, boom.
our,
All
our
right.
ace, our ace.
Mm.
Would love to see a Mortal Kombat character in Smash.
Is
I
that
mean,
right? Oh, but
Yeah.
remember,
what is
we
it?
shouldn't be asking for Mortal Kombat on Switch because that would be like asking Mario to be on Xbox.
Mm.
Mm.
What about no? We shouldn't ask for more combo on the Wii U because Smash isn't on PS4.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
What the hell
Funny,
is
funny,
it?
funny how being the fastest selling console of all time changes that statement. Mm.
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 And how Mortal Kombat selling extremely well on the Switch is changing that
Which
too.
is crazy because that console doesn't even support that version of Unreal 3. It's a highly customized version of Unreal 3. So they did all that extra work to put it on there. And the Wii U was perfectly compatible with Unreal Engine 3.
I mean, they were using the same engine as Injustice.
Yeah.
Mm.
You would think it would be easy to do that.
Mm.
So, Eddie,
It's just swapping out some characters. I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
So
Ed,
I think the excuses,
they just dried up because
yeah.
that money. The excuses dried up because the money just appeared.
So this is chapter 19 of Switch proves all the bias against Wii U, literally, because that game was harder to put on Switch than it was on Wii U.
yeah. So the question that I have after I read the article, I read the little tweets he put out, and I immediately got mad because I remember back in 2015 what he said, which is what you guys pretty much said exactly what he said. So my question is this: is having a character in Smash that big of a deal now?
Oh yes, it's been that big of a deal since what, Brawl?
Yeah.
Well,
So
for anything Amiibo, and if you have an Amiibo, people are going to want to play games in it. So if you port a game on there, you're more likely to play that game. And people are noticing that, oh my God, this quote unquote limited version of the game is selling the best. People are buying
hold on.
people buying games on Nintendo platforms.
I believe there's a particular person that's in this discussion right now that did this video on the Wii U and talked about third party Amiibo and how they were successful and how good of an idea it was, and said that Shovel Knight was the perfect example of this and people should follow that back.
Get on.
Oh my gosh, it's great being right. When everybody knows what I said years ago. Years ago.
Here's the thing. And I understand what Smash is. Smash Brothers is one of those games. If you can get your character on there, people will buy the game that comes from it.
Look at Fire Emblem.
That's how Fire Emblem got so popular in the West. And that's and the people are hating on Fire Emblem characters, but you gotta look at the fact that if Roy and Marth were not in Melee, Fire Emblem would not be as popular over here as it is. And that's a fact.
A fact.
And any character that ends up in Smash, their games, as far as third party, typically actually sell pretty well. Even when Sonic had very crappy games coming out, those games were still selling well because Sonic ended up in Smash.
I'm just really, I really hate that those characters were not in Smash earlier, like on the N64, so I could, buy Path of Radiance for less than $200. That would be great. It would be cool. But since nobody bought the games, they got extremely rare, and now they cost $1 million to buy online now. So
and look at I was going to say, look at the Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy games and how well they're doing on the Switch right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. It's funny. It's funny how Nintendo gamers never went anywhere.
Yeah.
They never went anywhere. They're just like, oh, those games I used to play on the NES are back.
Yeah. So
they lucky that people are buying them because it could be a little bit of that situation where, you know what? No, because yeah.
That's why I'm like, if Nintendo wants to put like Scorpion or Sub-Zero or Liu Kang or Kung Lao or somebody in Smash, that's their prerogative. But I really hope they don't, and I hope they never do.
like I said, if any one of those mature series decide to show up, it should be Killer Instinct.
Yeah, it should actually.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, but the Killer Instinct when it was at its height was Nintendo's. So
yeah,
the same thing was said could be said for Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah,
at its height was with Nintendo.
And Battletoads
with Nintendo.
Battletoads, I think they had one Sega game. One game on Genesis.
That was the remake of the first game, though. So again, that was still a Nintendo game.
Yeah. So I mean, I just thought it was funny that Ed Boon of all people would say that.
I should have checked that tweet to see how many people put up that screen cap of what he said.
So so now he's doubling down on the rumor because somebody had just put a video out about it maybe a week or so ago, and then here he go like, dude.
Well, I know, and I knew this was gonna happen when Ryu got in. I'm like, dude, you can't say you can't put like somebody like Sub-Zero in. It's pretty much the same damn.
Not just that, SNK's in now too.
Yeah.
So now they feeling and Virtua Fighter me costume
Jackie,
right?
The Jackie.
But we gotta drop. They gotta actually drop a Virtua Fighter character. They need to drop a Virtua Fighter character.
And a Dead or Alive character too.
Yes.
They might as well.
Ryu Hayabusa. They was supposed to drop. Ryu Hayabusa had been rumored.
I mean, he
might be one of the last ones.
And he would fit both as Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden. So he covered two games at that point.
And Tecmo been working with Nintendo so well. It ain't no way they ain't thought of it. There's no way that it'll slip their mind.
And I will say this, especially coming off the fact that we found out that Disney or Japan was the reason why Sora ain't in it.
I'm still pissed about that whole situation too because Nintendo came to them about
and
that
asked.
Situation. Yeah.
And asked.
Yeah.
And apparently Square Enix was fine with it. Square Enix wanted it.
Yep.
Oh, they would have been down for it. They'd be like, hey, that's extra money in our pockets.
Yeah, but
Disney said nah, because y'all decided that y'all was gonna do a game. Y'all was gonna do a game theme park with somebody other than us. So no.
No.
Or do you think they're still pissed about Disney Infinity not doing well on Wii? Is that what?
I think it's honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I think it's about.
We still don't have Kingdom Hearts on any Nintendo console yet, like DS. Like what the fuck?
And
they even took that game and put it on the platform, so it don't make a difference.
Well, my thing is, I think they mad about the fact that remember Mario is at freaking DreamWorks.
Yeah, instead of
Disney.
And
Pixar wanted it. Remember, Pixar wanted Mario.
Which is crazy because Mario was in the Pixar movie.
Yeah, Pixar wanted Mario, but I think DreamWorks and DreamWorks I think DreamWorks and Illumination had a better deal. They made a better deal. I was just like, so I really think that's what it was. Disney was like, oh, you gonna go to DreamWorks instead of us, man?
Man, whoever the studio that did Sonic needs to go do Mario like right now. Like I was listening to all the jokes and stabs at Mushroom World inside that movie, and I'm like, but I like these callbacks. I like this. Make the Mario thing happen.
It was 3 major Mario. That's how I know there's gonna be some Mario gonna get his revenge on Sonic in that Mario movie.
It's gonna be some
hard trash.
There's gonna be some heat thrown back and forth. We know this.
Yeah, it's gonna be some heat thrown back. So, that's the reason why I had to bring this up because I'm sitting up there looking at Ed Boon like, oh, so we got a short memory, don't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was only a few years ago.
Yep. And it's killing me because it was so sad to watch him pimp the Wii version of Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That was so embarrassing watching him try. You create a fatality. That was so gross.
Yeah.
That
was weird. That was really weird. So yeah. Well, staying on the Smash train, Attorney Champ called Nintendo out for not supporting the Smash tournament scene. Andre?
Well, to me, because we know Nintendo has sponsored events for it. So I don't think it's a monetary thing. I think it goes back to how a lot of Smash players, at least like the more tournament-minded players, complain about stuff not being like Melee, where there were so many exploits they could use. And Nintendo, for the most part, has taken a lot of that out of the game. But they've also added in so many other features and options to it that you can play this game nearly any way you want to play. There are too many different variations of style of play for this one particular game. So, like, if that's what he's leaning on, let's look towards Street Fighter V as a perfectly horrible example as to why that's not the best idea in the world.
Well, I was gonna say also in addition to that, it's also people too. So you have major presences leaving Nintendo at the time. The interim president left for NOJ. So now we got Shintaro Wins. So he's in now in Japan. Reggie left. We got Doug Bowser at the helm now. Somebody brand new took Doug's old place. And I believe now the VP of marketing and sales is Roxanne, who we were talking about offline. Yeah. So if those people are in place and they don't know what the call is for something like this, and this is something that you have to run up the chain and have a good relationship with NOJ for as well, because ultimately they make the call at the end of the day for their branding for something like this, because it's not just, hey, we give the money to sponsor this. We're marketing this internationally. And does the new president of Nintendo agree with this? Do their marketing team overseas agree with this now? Because it's a brand new project all over again now, because everybody changed that was in the loop, like within less than 2 years. So yeah. I do want to say that that's also a factor. Could it still be done? Yes, but I think that there's probably part of the situation, and along with people, I won't say their technical expertise or knowing the franchise or what have you. Basically, if Nintendo was just like, okay, Sakurai, do whatever you want to with this franchise, and they contacted Sakurai directly, I'm pretty sure he would just say, okay, sure, and then they sponsor it. Nintendo would sponsor it based on his recommendation. But there's a lot more wheels or a lot more hoops to jump through for something like that to happen internationally. So yeah, I'm thinking that's probably where it got hung up at. It's probably somebody not answering an email or something to that effect somewhere, because you're talking about 9-10 different steps.
Yeah, me personally, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I view Smash Bros. As a party game. I don't even view it as a fighting game. I view it as a party game. Honestly,
they've always marketed it as that from the beginning, and then that is what he said, right?
That's what Sakurai
said. So that means that Iwata passed that down to him with that same knowledge, saying, "Hey, look, this was our baby, but it was never intended to be this Street Fighter whatever thing. Like that was Killer Instinct, and we don't have Killer Instinct anymore." So.
And here's the killer to me about it, and I'm not trying to speak bad about the tournament scene, because I honestly don't care, but it kind of seems to me like it's the people that couldn't do Tekken and couldn't do Dead or Alive, couldn't do Street Fighter. They found Smash Bros. Found that, oh, this is actually easy for me to pick up, and then they adopted that as, this is my game, so I'm gonna leverage it like that, because I have never heard anybody taking Mario Kart and being like, we'll make this a simulation game.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's because Mario Kart, when you look at Mario Kart, it's a party game. Yes, it's a racer, but it's a party. It's not a simulation.
Arcade racing.
It's an arcade racer. I have never heard anybody say, you know what, man, we got to have this Mario Kart tournament sponsored.
Yep. And the closest they got was Mercedes, because Mercedes would be dumb to not do it.
Yeah,
Mario Kart is Mercedes
is like, Mercedes is like, please tell me y'all didn't call Aston Martin yet.
on Wii U, but that game damn near sold 1-1 on Wii U. So of course, yeah.
So
why not?
So Smash Bros. I get it. Some people think of it as a fighter. I think of it as a party game, and that's just because, like, when you see all of the different options to how you can play that game, it's best when you got 8-9 people in the house, 8-9 people in the house, and everybody got a control in their hand, and watch the hilarity ensue.
Yep.
Because somebody's going to pick up Piranha Plant and Wii Fit Trainer and win every time. God, I hate them troll kids.
Piranha Plant is hilarious. I'm sorry. That game, so it's frustrating as it is. The game isn't serious, so you can't really be.
You can't get mad.
Yeah, it's really hilarious.
Can't get mad. That's why I laugh every time I hear somebody say, "Oh, well, the way you have to play is on Final Destination, no items. You can only play with 3 stock. You can only play." Like, nah, dude, that's okay. That's the way you play.
That's you
Don't
want to
still
play.
have random tripping though. So that's RNG. Like, if there's RNG, it's not a traditional fighter in that sense. Like, you can't. There's no way, man. There's no way.
It's the game. Look, people want to play the game the way they want to play it. Let them play it that way. But it's not everyone else's responsibility to push that way of play.
Don't get mad when something crazy happened then. Like, and people figure out the randomness too. So somebody figures out what the randomness is, and that's how they win their matches versus the perceived skill that you think you should see, and all these Z dashing and Zaw dancing or whatever, all this other kind of.
Just give me my baseball bat. Just give me my baseball bat and my master Pokeball.
you do all those techniques and still get knocked the fuck out. So you can't even really.
The whole purpose of all the items in Smash is to be able to counter someone's skill.
Yeah.
So you not only have to have skill with the character you're playing with, you have to have skill with the items in the game.
Yes.
You have to know how they operate, how to use them, and how to avoid them.
So the problem with, the date night or family night or what have you is somebody's going to be better than somebody else, right? And you can just always go and do the handicap setting or whatever and make it harder for you or whatever. But is it really more fun that way? Or like with Smash, every single time something random happens, it is amazing. And I'm like, I want to play again.
And it's always something you can sit down and laugh about because you just did not expect it to happen.
Yes.
And
that's what makes it fun.
Like me and Jay remember we were playing Smash on the Wii U, and you thought you had me knocked out, and I charge shot at you.
So let me tell you what this fool did, right?
Charge shot from across the screen.
I'm winning. Okay, we got 4 seconds left. We got 4 seconds left. I knock him across the screen. I'm like, oh, this is over. He charges up a shot, hits me with the shot. 2 seconds. I'm off. 1 second. It hit. Right, I go off right before the 1 second goes out. He wins.
I just bet because we were going to draw, and he knocked me off. I knew I wasn't going to land. I knew I wasn't going to make landfall. So I
just so happened he went out before you did.
I had that charge. So I was like, you know what? This is my last attempt. Shot him because he was right at the edge.
Square in my face. I thought I had won.
And that's the type of stuff that can happen in Smash.
Because it's random like that.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. And that's what makes it fun.
And that's why, like, when I hear people talk about, oh, well, you can't play like this because this isn't, I'm like, dude, it's Smash Brothers. It's not Tekken.
It's called Smash Brothers. If that's supposed to be
made Pokken for you.
Yeah, I'm like,
they made Pokken. They made Arms. Arms is technically a fighting game. And
Arms is actually a lot of fun. Twintail, goddamn, she fine. But Arms is actually a lot of fun.
But if people want to play that type of game, you got Street Fighter, you got Tekken, you got Fighter X Lair, you got King of Fighters, you got freaking Killer Instinct, you got Mortal Kombat. There's so much for it. And maybe that's the difference with Smash. Maybe it's because it is the difference. Is the game is different out of a genre that is saturated with a lot of stuff that requires a lot of heavy skill.
Yes, and that may be the situation too, and it's so weird because it's the complete opposite for me. The way that those physics work, I'm just not. I can't abuse it the way I would any other 2D fighting game or 3D fighting game. Yeah, Virtua Fighter or Tekken all day, I'm okay with that. Street Fighter obviously is 2D. I'm okay with that. But then I go play Smash, and I'm like, half the time, if I'm playing with more than two characters, I'll lose where I am on screen.
Well, because the game's fast.
Physics won't, even after watching multiple videos, physics don't respond the way that I expect. So comboing is probably the hardest thing for me, period. Because it doesn't behave in the way that you've been trained for other fighting games. Even when you try to train yourself to behave and follow the way these physics are in this game, it just doesn't translate well. So to me, I really think it's people that a lot of people that are really good that picked up Melee is because they probably did suck at every other game like that. They probably sucked at Madden. They probably sucked at in all Halo and all this other kind of stuff. And then they found this one game that was supposed to be fun, and they figured out a way to break it. And that's their thing. They don't want to leave it, and that's all they want to know. And I'm like, I can't. I play other stuff. And going back to this, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm not even gonna attempt. Me learning it would mean I would probably have to get in that mindset of unlearning everything else and just. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, you'd have to be Sakurai.
Yeah.
Just put it this way, you had to be Sakurai.
2 controllers. Let me get my second controller. He got all. He's like over here with the damn with the Switch controller, and then he got this in the other hand. And
man, when he was playing on all 4 controllers on the on that last direct with Violet, I was just shooting a bird at my webcam at my damn computer screen.
He signed in binary, so I guess it makes sense.
Like, man, whatever, man, you cheating. But that being said,
I mean, he is Master Hand technically, so
technically. So it got me thinking about elite controllers. And by elite controllers, I mean like Microsoft, and now Sony has their own one. Matter of fact, it's this bad boy. Got this one sweet. So
I've never tried those. How do the rear paddles work? Is it just like how the bottom part of the DualShock is? The little rear on the bottom?
On this one, on this Revolution, yeah. So I haven't got the one for Xbox yet. I'm planning on picking that one up next. But it got me thinking like, okay, Sony and Microsoft have these, and I kind of think everybody should have one. Even Nintendo, they should have one that, and I'm not talking about the Power A. I know Power A they have a version of that, but it's not like this. It's not in depth like this. I'm talking about an actual multiple paddle. You can set up multiple profiles like that. And the reason why I say that is because games like one of my favorites, Breath of the Wild, I hate clicking L3 and R3. I hate that. I have died so many times fighting Stalker Guardians and freaking Lionels because of L3 and R3. So if I have a chance to change that and move that to like a paddle, that works better for me.
So here's the question. Elite controller? Yeah. Or do we go ahead and shift the paradigm and make that the new default controller going forward?
Just make it a default controller, in my opinion. But
put it in the box.
Yeah, but I understand that's going to cause the price to go up. But hey, so what?
Nintendo would figure out a way to make it cheap.
Yeah.
At this point, I would like technically, you could be technical and say split Joy-Con almost covers that because it's the buttons on the inside, but I can understand it's probably not comfortable for everybody to try to use them.
Has anybody programmed those to do anything when you split them? Is there a game that does that?
Not that
I don't even think ARMS does it.
I'm pretty sure there's probably an indie game that does it, but I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, it seems like you only use those when you turn it sideways.
Yeah, because it's one of those situations where like I think the indie companies have been more experimental in that capacity. I don't think the mainline companies have. The second parties and third parties have. I think the indie guys have, but I'm pretty sure there's a game that does that. Hey, if you know in the description, please let us know.
Yeah, so that would be cool, but it will force you to have to not have a handle.
Yeah,
or use any of the grips.
That's why I was like, I kind of want everybody to have one of those just to have the option, or make it the default now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know why we can't make it the default, and that way everybody can have their own setup. Now, of course,
you know why multi-platform games.
Yeah, I know why. But then there comes Nintendo, who has to do everything crazy anyway, and I do kind of like. I ain't gonna lie, I do kind of like my Joy-Cons. I do like my gyro because I'm not twin sticking all the time. If I'm playing a shooter on Nintendo, I kind of want to use my gyro or my motion control just because I done got used to them doing that.
Yeah, so Doom is good.
I can understand that, but for people who want that option, I like to have the option. So
I mean, it's fine. I think it's okay to do it. Like, I don't see a problem with it. My only problem, and it's going to sound trollish, but my only problem is technically the Wii U had an Elite controller and nobody wanted to use it.
Oh well, yeah, it don't
Well,
count.
yeah,
But it don't count.
I mean, because again, I guess it made the Wii U too much money for what it was worth. It was $100 more, but people were willing to go spend that same $100 on a controller to do pretty much the same thing that has less options to it.
yeah.
And so we now loop back around to again where people are accepting of this in one package, but in the other that was actually better for them, nobody wanted it.
Well, there was a number of other factors too. Like everybody's been like, especially the gaming media has been positive on these controllers. They were never positive on the Wii U.
Even though the Wii U Pro controller was the greatest thing ever created, and they will not give it props.
Admit it. They won't admit it. But the thing is, they were trying to shift that narrative because in Shadow we talked about this because me and you have went at our good buddy from IGN on Twitter about this because especially IGN and Rev3 they were trying to push this narrative that Nintendo needed to go third party because they didn't want to buy another system. I'm like
looking at you, Ryan Geddes and Dame Zero.
Yeah, so I'm like, y'all try to push this narrative. You swore that the system was complete trash, but then you turn right back around. That's why I'm saying Nintendo gave the biggest FU to the gaming industry
when they made the Switch
and saying, okay, y'all love this with less features, but now you want to get mad at us? Nah, we gave y'all something with a bunch of features on it that actually worked. And you hated us for it. We gave you something less, and y'all love it, but now you mad because of what?
Now play the games. Play the games that we ported from Wii U all over again and love it. Still designed for 1 gig of RAM. Still designed for 1 gig of RAM.
And also less features to those games because the gamepad is not available.
Yep.
And the Miiverse is gone.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. They love it. They're eating it up. I want more ports. What? Whoa, time out. Flag on the play. What?
but only after it took off.
Yeah.
They were trying to doom and gloom that one too.
Yep. Only after it took
it's
off.
not powerful enough. It can't. Did you not see the commercial? Then all of a sudden, when it took off, now, I love playing the games off the screen and blah 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 blah. Oh, so just like Wii U, huh?
Exact same thing on the Wii U.
Oh, so it's like so in your house, it's a Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. The only thing they did was make it where you could take it with you everywhere. To the store, to work. That's the only thing they did.
And it was capable. Wii U was capable of doing that too. It just did Nintendo want to do it. Like Broadcom admitted that you could do it. It was up to Nintendo to create the server to have it work outside of the house.
But that would require also Nintendo put more hardware in the gamepad, and I can understand why they didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have to. I mean, you could just stream. If you're just in a location with a wireless connection, you could stream back home.
Yeah,
you create a tunnel and then you stream back home, and then there would be no latency for you because you have no idea what the TV screen looks like. You're playing only on the gamepad, so there would be no latency to you.
And on top, and the other thing too, they would have had to have like a standby mode for it, so it'd stay like a rest.
So it could stay connected.
Yeah.
But now they could redo it again and they could literally put the Switch hardware inside of the gamepad because it would fit in there.
Yeah, basically.
They could literally for their next platform make
and that way you can get your Xenoblade Chronicles X finally because there's no way that game's getting ported without that gamepad. I'm sorry.
I would be petty enough if I was Nintendo to call it a Wii U Plus. 10th generation hardware from Nintendo, Wii U Plus.
No, not a Wii U Plus.
But just because of the stigma?
No, call it a Switch U.
A Switch U?
Switch U. We had the Wii U, then we switched, and now we Switch U.
Oh, that's horrible.
But
do it covertly. Instead of it being the Switch U by name, call it the Switch Ultimate. But everybody's gonna call it Switch U.
Yep.
Because they shorten the name.
I I was thinking about making a video talking about all some of my favorite Switch games, and all of the footage came from Wii U, just to see how people would react to it.
That would be hilariously funny.
Bro.
That would be hilariously funny.
Straight, bro.
All right, well, we got to talk about this this article that came out. We found out that a certain remake is really looking thick right now. Looking thick. That Final Fantasy 7, 100 gigs.
And NBA 2K got competition.
Once again, we got to remember this is an episodic game.
This is Red Dead Redemption, NBA 2K, man.
Y'all. Hold on. This is an episodic game, and this is only a third of the game on 2 discs.
Square just buy a data center and give people a login and password, because we don't want all these discs. And we don't want all this install time. Like I'm have to make like 12 sandwiches waiting on this game to install. Like we good.
You might as well go set the game up to install and go to bed.
Yeah, that's bad.
And it'll be up in the morning when you get up. It'll be up in the morning when you get up.
Look, the game will just be launching by the time you get downstairs. And
so here's my question though. How big the damn thing gonna be at the end?
I mean, look,
I don't know, but we talking about 100 gigs starting.
100 gigs for each episode.
I'm gonna guess at least that, but my guess is by the time this game is done, it's gonna be 500 gigs.
And I ain't even gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
The majority of that is multi-language support, FMVs, and texture sizes that for stuff that you're not even gonna get that close to. But they have to make it that size because the entire game world has to be, have these texture sets or whatever. So they're creating render targets that are huge, and they don't even need to do it. But just because of the way the game engine works, that's what they're going to be doing and filling up. I thought
it was just well, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. But the thing is, I'm always worried when I see a game over 100 gigs. The main reason,
it's one town. It's the first act.
Like here's the reason why I'm worried about this, because we know that people they've been talking about, because they hear these buzzwords for 4K and 8K and all this. I'm like, y'all keep talking about that, and y'all think y'all gonna get like a 500 gig hard drive and be able to play these games.
It's not happening.
Not gonna work like that.
You might get one game on there.
Yeah,
you talking about SSDs is going to solve the problem, which I already explained that bottleneck, but
that's not gonna,
and that's going to make it even more expensive because
that's all
it will.
So is PS5 and Xbox Series X coming with a 2 terabyte hard drive?
They will have to.
They need to at least come,
which is probably why they're going to be $500 a piece.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude,
the drive itself is going to be $100.
Yeah, because the funny thing, the messed up thing about it is, and you got to remember, their OS, because if you got like a 500 gig hard drive now, the OS took about 120 gigs of it. I remember because I had a day one Xbox One, and I could only have 4 games on it.
Yep.
That pissed me off. So,
but the Wii U had no storage; it had 32 gigs until you connected a hard drive to it.
Yeah,
and then it was 2 terabytes. All your game. You can still play all your games off the disc.
Turns out it's it depends on whether you want it, if you wanted to risk getting it corrupted or not. It internally it had its own version of FAT32, so you could do over 2 terabytes. You could probably do 4 terabytes if you wanted to before it started getting bad. But you could probably it just depends. Like the Wii U was blind. Like hook up a damn USB hub and it's like I'll treat it like one drive. Shit.
Basically, yeah. Basically, I did
all kind of thumb drives, all kind of hard drives hooked up.
I had a terabyte hooked up to my Wii U. That's why I was like, is the Switch gonna let us do that too? But apparently not. But I'm like, okay, that's
that's why they're investing heavily in trying to get these the SD stuff going.
Yeah. And that was because of fail overflow too. So they're trying to keep them from circumventing. So and I keep trying to explain that to people. They get upset, say, "Oh, well, I can't just directly save my stuff." And I'm like, "This is why they're doing it. I'm not saying that it's a good reason. I'm just telling you that security is always paramount with them." Yeah, and that's what they're doing. That's why certain games they don't allow you to restore your saves and whatnot because people will take advantage of it and replicate shit. So.
That's how a lot of games get hacked through.
And then, I guess it's okay for you to have your opinion and complain, but don't call Nintendo dumb when they obviously thought about it. That's kind of where I'm coming from with that. So, but
But there is one thing we have to complain about with Nintendo and call them dumb on.
Uh-oh.
This goddamn virtual console. Look,
man, it's not happening. They just gonna continue to sell us stuff.
These offerings, man.
Yeah, they kind of shiesty, ain't?
Bruh.
But some of them are throwbacks though. They put Breakthrough on there. I was like, oh, that's me. I'm with that all day.
Here's my problem with it. You already have a Super NES Classic. You have an NES Classic. These are the same games that's on those classics. So why in the world are you giving me the same thing that's on there? What if I have both of them sitting in the crib?
I guess for the people that don't want to leave the Switch environment and they playing on the go or playing in the house or whatever, and they don't want to plug that up and play it.
Now here was my whole thing of how to, and I don't know the logistics of this, but the problem is we have a way to use the GameCube controller on this damn system, and you ain't gonna give me the GameCube virtual console, which people have been begging for since the
Wii U. Yep.
They've been begging you for this, and I'm glad this ain't Reggie. Oh, because Reggie would have been like, we know what you want. No, you don't.
And the Wii U was bad, made it even worse because it could physically play the GameCube discs. You could put them in there. The firmware stopped you from playing them.
Yeah, so you could have played it. Yeah, you could have played it. But the problem is, I think that's what they should be doing. Like, no N64 games, which make no sense because you had it on the Wii and the Wii U. So that should be there. Mm-hmm. GameCube, none. Wii, none. I'm like, dude, come on, man. And I understand you can't do the third part. I'm talking about your games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your first
their own stuff, their own catalog. They could really just go ahead and start putting that stuff out.
Yeah.
And so they got the
Smash
ISOs
Bros. Melee. So if you put Smash Bros. Melee on the freaking VC, you know how many people will stop complaining? Complaining about Nintendo Online? Literally. Because once again, I've seen people who have said, I will never buy Nintendo Online. I can go on Smash Bros. Ultimate right now and see them right there online right now.
Yep.
I thought you didn't buy it though.
I jumped on somebody's family plan. I jumped on.
You still on it?
I bought a family plan.
You're still on it?
Yeah, I'm not letting nobody on my family plan. That's why I got kids.
Yeah.
I jumped on somebody's family plan. Okay.
Look, like I said when Nintendo first proposed this, I'm like, they set it up for people to have their little mini business off this. Mm-hmm. Buy a couple family plans and let people jump on and charge them a certain amount a year.
He's like, come on, now. I'm on the family plan. Oh, for free? Or they? You still? So you might as well have just paid the $20. Sounds like.
Yeah, you should just did that. But once again, like I said, I've seen people make videos about it, hating it. But I go on Mario Kart and I go on Smash Bros. They there.
Yep.
And this has been this has been a year. So they 7-day trial is up.
Yep. Every Monday I see them, and every other.
That I mean, and Andre, me and you talked about this. If they just put some more stuff, throw some anime on there.
Oh yeah. We still gotta do that. We talk about
Crunchyroll isn't on there yet, or is it on there in Japan?
Nah, we ain't even talking about them. We talking about Nintendo.
We talking about Star Fox event. That Star Fox event.
Oh, there.
That Smash, the Pit one they did, the 3 with Pit. I'm like, dude.
Are they on YouTube separately? Because they use them as intros for videos. Do they have them separately somewhere?
I think they are.
They have them separately. All of them separately.
Well, I know the ones for
Star Fox is still on there.
The ones for Damon X Machina are on there. Damon X Machina is on there.
Yeah, Damon X Machina is on there too.
The ones for Smash is still up there. But then they had the Pikmin shorts that were on the Wii U and the 3DS, and then they had the Kid Icarus shorts that were on the 3DS.
That Link versus Kid Icarus.
That Link versus Pit battle still got that's still the battle. Everybody wants to see how that battle started, and we want to see why Palutena showed up to
we want to see the end.
Save Pit.
We want to see the end of that.
We want to see her. Stuff. We want to see Link go at her. We want to see Link go at her.
I can promise you, she didn't walk through him. So
she came down there because she knew Pit was gonna get stomped.
but that's the thing. That's I'm like, if they wanted to fix their VC to where people will stop complaining, those are two. We just
Nintendo
gave
Animation Service.
yeah.
Nintendo Animation Service. People.
So,
And
People stop complaining.
Look.
should they go ahead and do N64?
Yeah,
Is it worth
it? They should have been this N64 because it was on the Wii and the Wii U. I'm like, why not?
As well.
Yeah, might as well.
To me, honestly, there's no reason that they couldn't have stuff from the Wii down on the Switch from all of their platforms below the Wii. There's no reason they can't have stuff on the Switch.
Yeah. I'm wondering, do those games stay locally on your system? That's a lot of games on there. Those ROMs are, some of those ROMs get pretty big, especially when you start talking about Super Nintendo. So I'm wondering, do they stay on your system like that? Because the app is there. So I'm wondering if it's collating data to see whether or not you're using it, and then it only keeps the most frequent.
I don't know.
I'm wondering. Because it's self-contained within that app. I wonder how that works because that's a lot of fucking games, man.
My assumption is that whatever games that you want to play, they're downloaded locally so that you can have them.
Yeah.
Just the ones that you don't have downloaded locally, you don't have access to.
And they fade off into the cloud, and you can see them, but
you can't
not until you click on it. Yeah.
Because honestly, for all their home platforms. From the Wii down, they could have everything on there. And then for all the handheld stuff, at least everything from the Game Boy Advance down could be on there. That stuff could automatically be on there. There's a way to do the DS stuff, too, if they wanted to do it, because it was done on the Wii U with the emulator that was on there where you could have both of them on the same screen together. It's just up to them to put that software together and put it out.
If Nintendo opens a new manufacturing warehouse, in their backyard, basically, which I think they're probably going to be doing. They did a lot of consolidating, but they still own all their old real estate. So their old warehouses in Kyoto and Tokyo, they still exist. So I'm wondering if they are going back to remaking N64 controllers. And if they're doing that, that would be the perfect thing. They go ahead and they do N64 VC or whatever, sell the N64 controller or whatever. That'll sell gangbusters. It'd be sold out probably immediately when they announce it.
And let me hook it up to this Wii U port that I have for my GameCube controller.
Yep. And then just go from there. And then the GameCube controller is already USB anyway, so I mean, if they decide to do those, it'd be automatic. So
well, I mean, they already got them to work for Smash. It's just implementing those for
Mario Kart. They are
Mario.
You can do it for Mario Kart as well.
Yep.
And Fast Racing Neo.
Yes, Fast Racing Rio lets you do it too. That's right. I'm trying to think what.
It would be nice if they would have told people that.
Inadvertently, I could play Hollow Knight with this too. I've done it a couple of times. So I've played Hollow Knight with this, and I'm trying to think what else I played with it. I played a fighting game too. I think it was one of the Princess games. What's Princess EX, whatever. And you just remount.
Princess.
Code of Princess.
Code of Princess.
Oh, Code of Princess. Okay.
Yeah, you just remount the buttons.
That ain't too bad then. All right. Well, before we get out of here, I want to end this one on a positive note. So, if you are a fan of anime and animation, Castlevania Season 3, the trailer has dropped, and it is going to go live on Netflix March 5th. So, what are we looking forward to?
I got some binging to do because I have not made it past episode 1.
Oh, you really got?
Oh, you got some binging to do.
Yeah. I got binging to do.
No, you need to like. The story is so profound, especially once season 2 starts. Nah, you're not going to want to. The second you start the first episode, the second you start the first episode, you are not going to want to stop watching until you finish it. I'm not lying to you.
Especially with their portrayal of freaking Dracula, man, that messed with me. Ain't that messed with me? So, personally, since it looks like Camilla is going to be the villain for season 3, somebody please F her up. God, I hate that woman.
I get the distinct feeling. I get the distinct feeling she's gonna be feeling herself, and she's gonna go after Al. You call her.
Alucard or Cypher or both.
If she go after Cypher, she got to deal with her and Trevor.
Yeah, I don't think she wants that smoke.
She ain't gonna want to do that, especially if Trevor doing the dual wielding of the whips. She ain't gonna want to do that. She ain't gonna want to do that. She be like, oh nah, he beat me from one side of the room to the next side. Like he ain't got to move. Oh hell no, nah. I ain't doing that one. But she go out the Alucard, he just gonna eradicate her. He ain't gonna think about it. He
because,
like, oh.
And Shadow, please excuse a small spoiler I'm about to say, but she couldn't beat Dracula who wasn't feeding. So I'm like, how the hell you plan on beating Alucard?
And on top of that, Alucard was having a hard fight with him while he wasn't feeding. He still needed the help of Cypher and Trevor to beat him.
Yeah,
like ain't no way she gonna go after him if she's smart.
If she's smart. So we are supposed to be getting some new characters in the season, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this because I am a fan of what they did. Like I said, the first season was basically a test run because we only got 4 episodes. The next season we got 8, which were off the chain. Like they weren't. Nothing felt like a filler. So I'm hoping we don't get that this season because I'm so looking forward to seeing how they do this, how this progresses, because we know at some point somebody's going to resurrect Dracula, and I'm hoping they do that when Simon comes in, because Simon is my favorite Belmont.
So it doesn't start off with him; it starts off with Trevor.
It starts off with Trevor. Trevor okay. is before. Trevor is before.
They do need to bring in Grant though. Grant the Nasty.
Yeah, they do need to bring in Grant. Because Grant was with Trevor and Cypher.
How long are they living? Are they living 100 years or more?
No,
I don't think they are.
No, I think they just using regular human life.
Regular time.
Because remember, the only one that got messed with was Simon. Simon was the only one that got messed with. The rest of them were not.
Okay. So they're traditional descendants or you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they even throw little hints out about Leon Belmont, who's supposedly the first of the line that does the vampire killing. So they show little hints about him in the story, and they'll say other things about other Belmonts and why they fell out of everybody's respect during the series, because they kind of cover it. And chronologically, in order from the games, if Trevor was the first one they talked about, then Christopher would be next. But Christopher only went after Dracula to save his son. Yeah. So if that happened, that would be like a 1-season deal as far as I'm concerned. But Simon needs no less than 2, possibly 3.
Yeah, because like Simon, he beats him the first time, but he gets cursed, and that's the second season with Simon would be him dealing with the curse.
Yeah.
And Alucard ain't in that, so that
Alucard don't come back until
Richter.
Yeah, he don't come back till Richter and Maria.
So, and hopefully it stays in popularity so we can get to Richter and I would love to see how they do the Richter and Maria stuff.
Yeah, because then that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother at least 3 seasons. They got to do Rondo of Blood,
Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night. Then there's another one that they have that I think those 2 characters fall into, or maybe it might have been a mix-up.
Harmony of Dissonance, maybe.
No, that's the other guy.
Maria was in that one.
That's no.
It was a girl.
That's
in
Soma.
It.
That's Soma Cruz.
Soma, and then who was the girl though?
That's Arya.
That's Arya.
Soma.
Arya. Sorry.
Arya. The one that you talking about, Circle of Moon, is that this is where you start to branch off to the side families of the Belmonts, where they're not true Belmonts, but they can use the whip and its powers.
Yeah.
But it comes at a cost for them to use it.
Well, they can't use Morning Glory. They can use the vampire kill. They can't use the Morning Star.
Yeah, nah.
They can
Morning Star Simon only, right?
They can use the Morning Star, but it comes at a cost for them to use it.
Yeah. So they use like the leather one. They just use vampire killer.
They just use the vampire killer, but if they use the Morning Star, then it kind of drains their life force or something like that. Because that's Portrait of Ruin. The dude.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan and Charlotte Arwen or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
You remember all these names? Like I'm like, I remember the levels though.
Dude, them DS games was off. Hey,
them
DS games was off the chain.
Yeah, they were good.
And I ain't even talking about Order of Ecclesia, where you got Shinoa and all her powers linked to Dracula and all that stuff. And that's who the character in Bloodstain is basically based off of, because she's a combination of Shinoa and Soma. So I mean, like
essentially,
when you look at all the lore that follows after that, because after Dracula X portion, the Belmont family curse was thrown on everybody, and they could not use the vampire. They couldn't use their whips. They were not allowed to touch it until Julius shows up in 1999. So they were screwed.
And didn't he just say the hell with it and just use it anyway?
And then you just get hurt.
Julius shows up and uses it and finally actually destroys Dracula completely. And then his power gets floated around. Then his power gets floated around, and that's when Soma inherits it. Now, Soma decides he's going to go a particular path. That's why they got like what if stories in it in the games. If he goes a particular way, then he would be the full reincarnation of Dracula. But he's not.
But the order is following him though, so they're probably going to kill him before he get a chance to do it.
Their whole point is to either try to get him to accept the power and become Dracula, or to take it from him.
Essentially,
he could do a slide. It was great. And turn into a bat.
But yeah,
but even then, Alucard is still around during those.
Yep.
Spoilers: he's in disguise as a secret agent. He's not, but he's in disguise as one.
That's why I was like, this can go on for at least about a good 10, 15 seasons if they wanted to.
Yeah, they really.
Yeah, but it depends on if Netflix wants to cut the check.
Yeah, but hey, it's popular. I'm glad it's popular because, like I said, second season, I was not expecting second season to be like that, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Especially towards the end, that gets way more emotional than you would think it would have been.
Yeah,
I gotta see this then.
Way more.
Yeah, because I wasn't even expecting that, because I was just looking at it like, because when you get through the first season, you're like, okay, the church is jacked up. The church is just jacked up. The second season, you like, bruh, Dracula kill all of them. You just kill all of them. Yeah, just slaughter. I don't even care, man. You are not the bad guy in this.
But that isn't that the way it's supposed to go anyway? Like the entire point of Dracula is you read his memoirs to find out why that he was actually the one that was persecuted. I thought that was the whole point. Yeah, so that's the whole point of the dynasty.
It's the viewpoint of how you see it.
It depends on. Since I'm glad that they went with classic Castlevania continuity, because the Lords of Shadow continuity would screw everything up. It was screwed everything up.
But there were combos.
It was God of War in a castle. It was God of War.
You had to say that. You just had to say that. Freaking Gabriel Belmont. Yeah.
But the only problem I had with how they started, like, I don't even really have a problem with how they started, because Trevor was a good jumping off point. Like, but then that leaves all the Belmonts and everything that came before him, because you got the characters like Leon that gets ignored, then the dude Isaac and his partner, the dude that he worked up with, Hector. And they might because they put them in there. They're just
but they changed
the game.
Yeah, because like Hector and Isaac
are the beast. They're the beast tamers.
Yeah,
they were supposed to be before Trevor and everybody. They kind of there with them as far as the story goes.
But they might be that whole reincarnation thing, kind of like how Sid's in every Final Fantasy. They just changed the time.
Yeah, not how they played it.
I think for this it makes sense, because you need somebody that's going to be able to be around to kind of resurrect Dracula. So that's why it makes sense to alter it just a little bit.
Like that, whoever the Adi Shankar, he did his research.
Yeah,
he did his research. So you have a very well told story through 12 episodes so far, because that's how much you got. We got 2 seasons, 12 episodes. So March 5th, you guys leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Are you going to be watching it? When do you want Simon Belmont to show up like me, or do you want like
Simon? based on look, Simon can't show up yet. He just
not yet.
Literally can't.
Yeah,
now they can allude to Simon, but Simon himself can't show up.
Yeah. Now,
at this point, he doesn't even exist.
Well, depending on how this ends, season 4 and 5, please let it be Simon. Just depending on how this ends, because I don't know how this ends yet. Please let it be Simon on season 4 and 5.
No, because I think honestly, Christopher was Trevor's son. If I remember right, Christopher would be Trevor's son.
And Simon's would be Christopher's, right?
Simon is Christopher's grandson.
I should have wikied all this, but I don't know why. I'm trying to think of the lineage, but I probably have to.
Well, if we go with classic Castlevania, we know it's Leon, and there's a few people in between.
Yeah, then it's Trevor.
Then it's Trevor. Then it's Christopher. Then Christopher's son, but Christopher's son doesn't really have like any massive adventure anybody knows about.
Because when Christopher's around, like nothing really happens.
When Christopher's around, his son gets kidnapped.
Yeah,
and
but it wasn't by Dracula. It was by somebody else.
It was somebody who follows Dracula, but it wasn't Dracula directly. But as far as Simon's story goes, if I remember correctly, his parents are killed before he can be properly trained.
Yeah, he had to learn on his own.
Yeah, he was out with the barbarians and stuff. So
I'm looking at the tree now. It looks like Leon was probably a half breed.
Leon
unknown woman.
Leon was the first.
Yeah.
And his
then he had descendants named Trevor.
Leon was the first, and his fiance was basically being turned into a vampire by his supposed best friend at the time, and he had to kill her in order to imbue his whip with the power that made it the vampire killer.
Yeah. The leather whip, not
Morningstar.
The leather whip. You got to remember that.
Christopher is Trevor's grandson.
Okay. So then
that means okay, yeah.
So as far as this tree goes,
there would definitely be a skip. But I know Christopher is also Simon's grandfather.
Yeah. And Simon is when he actually gets resurrected, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Simon is the first resurrection of Dracula. Okay. And then that's how Simon got the curse and had to go and defeat him again, because without that curse, Simon would have been able to live a normal life after that.
Yeah, but he So, and that's why there's two whips. There's the vampire killer, and then there's the morning glow. I can't remember the name of it. It's the metal one that makes him explode.
The metal one that has the imbued tip.
Yeah, that makes them basically turn into grenades.
The fandom page is crazy. Like the Belmont clan is huge. That's a long lineage.
Hey, look, man, dog. You know, in the words of our good friend Johnny Taylor. No. Our good friend Marvin Gaye. In the words of our good friend Luther Vandross. Lil Luther, not Big Luther. Lil Luther.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They got big family tree.
Yeah.
A lot of begotten going on here.
Yeah.
All right, people. I hope you guys enjoyed our Winging It episode number 9, post Valentine's Day BS. And we got a couple specials coming to you this week, so be on the lookout for the Winging It episode specials, because some cool things are happening, and we would love to have you guys watch and all that other good stuff. Shadowfox, thanks for joining. Anything you want to pimp out?
Not a problem. Nothing to pimp out. Hopefully my channel will be at 1,000 subscribers pretty soon, and then I'll be able to send notifications so y'all know when I actually do a video and it actually gets uploaded. But no, I'm gonna do some stuff pretty soon. So just stand by, and then the Shadowcast come or a video come, and then you'll know. Other than that, stay on Twitter where I kill souls.
Right.
Okay, Raziel.
Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
I mean, look, no, I don't have anything specific to pimp out. Outside of the video that I do have something specific to pimp out. I don't know why I said it that way. Got the beta testers corner video for the game Loop, which we're having a discussion with the main writer, and one of the developers for that. and that will be very soon for you guys. But on my channel, that review of that is on there. Outside of that, I'm just working on other stuff. I got some Mass Effect videos I got to make because I finally got around to playing Mass Effect Andromeda, and I see exactly why everybody hated it. There's so much promise, but the execution is just
the setup. The setup in the story. It should be perfect. It should be.
There's so much promise to that game. But then there's also storyline inconsistencies that don't fit when you think about it. But I'll do that when I do my full analysis of it. I ain't going to spoil that right this moment. But hopefully I'll have that done either this week or next week. Otherwise, I'm just working on my normal videos. So.
All right, cool. I will have another couple live streams going. I am going to live stream Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition on Switch, as well as Warface next week. I'm going to try to do Devil May Cry on Tuesday, Warface on Friday. Be on the lookout for some gameplay vids because I do have Under Night in Birth. I have a gameplay vid of that up next week as well, going through the story mode on that. With my boy playing with Hyde from that I played with from Blaze Blue. And I want to do some Blaze Blue gameplay, so I may put some Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle gameplay up, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I did do some live stream of Darksiders Genesis, so check that out, as that is on the channel, should be up by now. So live streams are going to be on Fridays, and I'm going to try to start on Tuesdays and Fridays for live streams. So
that's a nice looking box, by the way.
I was glad you guys liked it because it cost me $100 and some, and the mugs was a week late. But but I digress. I did get the coolness of a Strife figure that I don't know where I'm gonna put at yet.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That's good stuff.
I have no idea where I'm gonna put that at. I do like Strife in that game, by the way. He is freaking awesome. So the thing is now, the only thing I kind of want with the Darksiders series, I want a game with all four of them in it. I'm not loving the top-down aspect. I'm dealing with it, but I do like the Darksiders series. So I'm hopefully. I
mean, they are the Four Horsemen.
Yeah,
so
I want a game with
all of them in it.
Yeah, that would be cool. But just check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Discord. If you haven't joined my Discord server, link is in the description. I'm gonna try to start doing some gameplay with people from the Discord. So I do have Marvel Ultimate Alliance that I do want to jump in with some friends. So just let me know, and I will see you guys on the next vid. Wakanda forever.
You play games, have fun, and so impress other people.